I set up my unfaithful wife by accusing her of infidelity. The lie tasted like acid on my tongue, but I had to say it. "Laura," I began, my voice trembling for effect, "I know you're cheating on me." Her face, which I once loved, crumpled into a mask of pure, theatrical shock. "What? How could you even think that, Mark?" she cried, tears already welling up in her eyes. I had to admit, she was good. But I was better. This wasn't just an accusation, it was a carefully constructed trap. For months, I'd felt a growing distance between us. Late nights at work, hushed phone calls she'd end the moment I walked in, a new, expensive perfume she claimed was a gift from her sister. The signs were all there, a constellation of betrayal in the sky of our marriage. But I had no proof. Every time I tried to talk to her, she'd turn it around, calling me insecure, paranoid, and controlling. So I decided to play her game. My accusation wasn't based on evidence, it was the first move in a chess match she didn't even know we were playing. I needed to see how she'd react when backed into a corner with a lie, not the truth. Her reaction was a masterpiece of righteous indignation. She threw things. She screamed. She swore on her mother's life that I was crazy. "You're trying to destroy us, Mark. With your insane jealousy," she yelled, her voice hoarse. It was exactly what an innocent person would do. Or a very, very guilty one. For the next few days, our home was a frozen tundra of silent treatment and icy glares. She wanted me to apologize, to crawl back and beg for forgiveness. But I held my ground. This was the critical part of my plan. By falsely accusing her, I created a new narrative. In her mind, she was the victim of an unjust accusation. This, I gambled, would make her feel safe. She would believe I was just being paranoid, that I had no real idea what was going on. And when people feel safe, they get careless. That's when I hired a private investigator. Not before, when she was on high alert, but after, when she thought the danger had passed. I told the PI, a discreet man named Miller, to be patient. "She thinks I'm just a jealous husband," I explained. "She'll get sloppy. She'll want to celebrate her victory over my paranoia." And she did. For a week, Laura was the model wife. She cooked my favorite meals, suggested we go to counseling, and talked about rebuilding trust. All the while, she was texting someone. Smiling at her phone. The same phone she now left lying around, confident I wouldn't dare touch it after my episode. Miller didn't need long. Just 4 days later, he called me. "I have something you need to see, Mr. Collins. Are you in a private place?" I met him in a quiet coffee shop. He slid a manila envelope across the table. My hands shook as I opened it. Inside were photos. Not grainy, long-distance shots, but crystal clear images. Laura, laughing, her head thrown back, walking into a boutique hotel. And with her? My best friend, Dave. The man who had been the best man at our wedding. They were holding hands. In another photo, they were kissing, a passionate, desperate kiss that told me everything I needed to know. It wasn't a one-time thing. This was a long-running affair. The betrayal was a physical blow, knocking the air from my lungs. But beneath the pain, a cold, hard anger began to form. They thought I was a fool. They had laughed at me, pitted my paranoia, while they carried on behind my back. I went home. The house was quiet. Laura was out, probably at yoga. I laid the photos out on the dining room table, one by one, like a dealer laying out a losing hand. I placed them right where she would see them the moment she walked in. Then I sat in the armchair in the corner of the room, in the dark, and I waited. An hour later, I heard her key in the lock. She came in humming, dropping her purse on the floor. "Mark? Are you home?" she called out cheerfully. Then, silence. The humming stopped. I saw her shadow freeze in the hallway. She took a slow step into the dining room. I heard a small gasp, then a choked sob. I flipped on the lamp beside me, illuminating my face. "Surprise," I said, my voice devoid of all emotion. Her face was a mess of shock and horror. The mask was gone. This was the real Laura. Mark. I can explain, she stammered, her eyes darting between the photos and my face. Oh, I don't think you can, I replied calmly. You see, I never actually knew you were cheating. I just had a hunch. You were the one who convinced me. Her jaw dropped. The realization hit her like a punch. My accusation hadn't been an act of jealousy. It had been a test. A trap. And she had walked right into it, so confident in her own lies. You set me up, she whispered, the words barely audible. I stood up and walked towards the table, picking up a photo of her and Dave kissing. No, Laura. You set yourself up. You got so comfortable with your lies that you forgot the truth can still find you. There was no big fight. No more screaming. Just the hollow, crushing weight of the truth filling the room. She started to cry, pathetic, weak sobs that held no power over me anymore. What about us, Mark? Everything we built, she asked desperately. I looked around the house, at the furniture we picked out together, the photos on the wall from happier times. What us? I asked. It seems this was just me and a cast of characters you invented. You weren't cheating on me, Laura. You were cheating on yourself. You traded something real for this. I gestured to the pictures. The next day, I filed for divorce. Dave tried to call me, a dozen times. I never picked up. Losing a wife and a best friend in one fell swoop is a unique kind of hell. But in the end, the truth, no matter how painful, is always better than a comfortable lie. I didn't set her up by accusing her of infidelity. I just held up a mirror, and she couldn't stand what she saw. Sometimes, the most elaborate trap you can set is simply letting people be who they truly are. They'll incriminate themselves every single time.